Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to get into a fun topic. We're going to talk about all those things that no one tells you about postpartum care and caring for you, the mom, the thing that we don't really talk about. And if you're not the mom, share with a mom who you know might benefit from this, because these are things that honestly I wish somebody would have told me. They're not fun to talk about, they're embarrassing, they're not glamorous, but they're necessary. They happen to all of us who give birth, and the more prepared, the better, I think. If you're someone who likes to plan, which if you're watching this, you most likely are trying to educate and plan, it's necessary to kind of know what to expect for yourself, right? So we're gonna talk about everything that happens down in that area, up top when you're nursing, breastfeeding, all of that, as well as I had a C-section, so I'm going to talk about the incision, how to care for it, what that feels like, what that looks like, and all of that. So if you are interested, please go ahead and subscribe, watch this video. If you're not, if it's too much, go ahead and stop here because it's going to get more intense. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So I'm going to break it up into 3 sections. Like I said, the down there area, the incision, and then the up top breastfeeding part. So we're going to start with the down there area. And basically, I mean, obviously, some of you push a baby out of there, so it's a little different. For us who have C-sections, we don't get a free pass and no pain down there. We still get a lot of the same kind of things on top of an incision. So basically what that looks like in the hospital is, depending on how much you labored and stuff, you could be very swollen, you could have all sorts of regular pains that a vaginal delivery would give you. For me, I didn't have all that, but I still had a lot of just pain and things that I wasn't expecting. So when you first have the baby, you know, you're very nervous about what everything waist down is going to be like and look like. I just remember going into recovery and just kind of like not even wanting to look at my incision, not wanting to see how and what got stapled, because it's scary. I've never had surgery before I had a C-section, and I didn't know what that was going to be like. I wasn't expecting to have a C-section. It was emergency, so I literally had no education in what to expect with it. So pretty much, you know, you have the baby, you're in recovery, and the nurses are checking on you. They come in every 12 hours and they start pushing on your incision. Now, I understand why they have to push on it, because they have to get all the junk out, I guess. But I never understood that they were gonna do that, for one, and continuing to do it the whole time you're in the hospital, and the amount of pain that is associated with it. Now, you know, I got a spinal tap in the operating room, and that was painful. But somebody pushing on your open wound is like probably one of the most painful things I've ever had. And the fact that you know that every 12 hours they're gonna be in to repeat that same pain on you is really crazy. It's like, you can't even explain it. You almost like, you can't remember, I don't know. You remember it, but like, I don't even know. It's kind of probably how people feel when they experience super intense pains with laboring and stuff. You almost like forget that whole thing. And you never want to go back there, but yet as moms, we do. So they go and they push on you every 12 hours. They get all that stuff out. You're like, you have this like pad you're laying on, and all of that, so it just all comes out. They change you and all of that. So pretty much after the first time they do that, then one of the things they want to start getting you to do is to walk. So they have to remove the catheter. And if you have never had surgery, then you might not really even know, but a catheter is something they put in you so that way you don't have to get up to pee, because you can't, your legs are numb. So they put the catheter in prior to going into surgery, and that way for the first 24 or 12, I don't remember if it's 12 or 24 hours that they leave it in you, so you don't have to worry about getting up to pee and all of that stuff. Well, so when you get out, they have to take that out because they want you to start moving and getting yourself back to normal. So they remove that, and that is not fun. It was not a comfortable feeling for me. So once that's taken out, you think your pain's gone? No. Then you have to actually get up. So then you go to the bathroom because you now are gonna have to walk to the bathroom instead of just, you know, going whenever in your catheter. And once you go to the bathroom for the first time, your nurses will assist you. And if you're like me, I didn't like to have anyone around prior to having kids. When I was going to the bathroom, I like to have my door closed, could take care of myself, was kind of, I don't know what the right word is, but like more shy when it came to all that stuff. Well, then fast forward, have a kid, be in the hospital, and all of that goes out the door. You don't care what happens. You don't care who sees what, who touches what. You just need help. You are literally in so much pain and so scared of what the first time is gonna feel like that you don't care what is happening. You just need help. I really just remember somebody helping me like walk, and I didn't bend over to do anything. I had a nurse take care of all of that for me, and when I think about it, it sounds crazy, but it was so helpful, and I was so thankful as a mom, because when you have a C-section, bending over is very hard, especially the first 24 hours. So to have a nurse bend over and do all that, like, they don't get the credit that they deserve, because that job's not for everyone. But they go in and help you clean all that up and show you what to do. So that's kind of the main thing at the hospital, and then you get to go home. So when they're gonna send you home, they're gonna send you kind of with like a little package of goodies that you're going to need the first couple days of being home and recovering. One of the main things that I recommend asking for extra is the like diaper looking thing that they give you. So these are actually your underwear that you would wear for the first like week of having a baby. If you're a C-section mom like me, these are magical. So you can get your own underwear and try to fit your pads and stuff in them. But because this has such a high seam, it actually goes over your stomach and your incision. And when you have a baby C-section, you don't want anything really on that incision pressing, because it hurts, it's sensitive, it's an open wound. So high underwear like this that you can kind of put over the C-section, and then you obviously still have like a mom belly. Well, I don't know if that's obvious, but you do. You still have a mom belly. It takes a while to kind of get down. So anything that kind of can go up and over is great. And these are like mesh material, like pantyhose, really not sexy, but they come in handy and they're great. So ask for extra, as many as they will give you. You want these, trust me. The next thing you want, or they're gonna send you home with, is this little squirt bottle. So the first couple days, when you just pee, the acid or whatever from your urine will burn if there's any open wounds down there. So squirting is great just to wash it, clean it, and that way you don't have to, like, you don't want to bend over to fully wipe. You can't do all that. Squirting kind of just cleans it up and you're good. Another thing they're gonna send you home with, and probably one of the most important, is your pads. Now, this is only half of the size of the pad. This can't even fit on the camera, it's so large, but this is the size of the real pad. Basically, it goes from like your incision to your tailbone or up your spine. It's so large and it catches everything. When I first saw this being pregnant, I thought I would never want this or use this, and like, no. This is like a pee pad for a dog. This is not for a human. But let me tell you, when you have a baby, this catches everything. And crazy things come out, and a lot of it. So you want a catch-all for that. You don't want to have to worry about anything like that when you have a baby. So ask for extra of these. You only need these for the first day or two when you're bleeding really heavily. So just a couple extra go a long way. Once you get out of that like heavy bleeding phase, you can then start to work your way down to smaller normal size pads. So I have just like a box I keep, and it has pretty much every size, if you can see, from the liners to like the thicker ones, all of that. So I recommend just getting a variety because you're gonna need them for the different stages of the first week or two. You bleed pretty much for a good week. Everyone varies, but I would just count on at least a week of bleeding. But even these like pads, I started using the first couple of days for my incision. And I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, just get like a variety of sizes so, you know, you can go down as you need and whatnot. So that's basically that whole area and caring for it. The other thing with that is if you are a C-section mom, they have you on a bunch of different, sorry, my phone. They have you on a bunch of different like medications for pain, stool softeners, gas, all these different things, right? Laxatives at the hospital. But when you come home, they don't send you with much except maybe a pain medicine. Well, what I found was with my second child, I started getting really bad pains in my upper like shoulder area, and they were super sharp pains like I've never experienced before. And it was every time I'd have to go to the bathroom. And so I remember asking my doctors why I was getting this pain, and he said it was because I needed to get gas out. Well, you're so scared to get gas out that like you're almost subconsciously holding it in because you don't even know how to reuse all that muscle and all that stuff. It's just really interesting. So they told me to get a stool softener. So I quickly went and got just like a generic stool softener, and it helped so much. Now, I was in pain for like 3 days before I called and asked what to do. Don't wait that long. Have this like on deck, ready to go in case you need it when you get home, because that pain is so sharp and so like, I don't even know. It hurt probably more than like anything else in my C-section recovery with my second child. It was really miserable. So just have that on hand because that really, really helped get all of that out. Okay, so that kind of covers our whole down there area, recovering, what that's gonna look like, all of that. So the next thing is the C-section incision, right? So when you first get a C-section, they usually either, I think they glue it or they staple it. My doctor staples, so I have to go back in to his office a couple days after getting discharged to get the staples removed. Now, with both of my kids, I was off of my pain medication within like 2 days of coming home. So by the time I went back to the doctor's office to get my staples removed, I was already long off pain medication. Well, I wish somebody would have told me to get back on pain medication the morning of your staple removal, because not that it's painful, but every once in a while you could get one of those staples kind of already with skin growing over, and they have to like wiggle to get it out. And I just wish I was on pain medication when they were wiggling to get that out, because that was not fun. So if you are going in and you're a first time mom with the staples, just do yourself a favor, take a little bit of pain medication before you go in. The next thing with that whole area is, like I said, a good like pad to cover, just like a simple pad. You can open it, put it on, cover your C-section when you first come home, because they kind of cover it when you get in, but as you come home and it gets wet or whatever, you're going to want to change it out. Put this on so your staples don't snag on anything, and you kind of have peace of mind with that. And besides that, I also had this, and I'll go ahead and show you. It is like a full all-inclusive wrap that it grows with you. So you can start, you'll start here with the full, and you slowly start getting to different like waist sizes and things. It basically helps hold everything in after you have a baby. And with a C-section, like I don't know. I feel like you just need extra holding in, and you're really protective of that area. So it just kind of like covers it all, holds it in like a tight Band-Aid, and it makes your waist trimmer quicker. And it just feels really good. Like it's, I don't know, it's just in place. Because once you have a baby, that tight pregnancy feeling that you used to feel goes away, and your skin feels loose, saggy, and nasty. And so this kind of holds it all back in, and gives you that tight feeling again. And like I said, it does help actually slim your waist. So I would definitely recommend something of this sort. And this one I just got on Amazon. I'll link it below. But it's nice and adjustable, so it can kind of grow or shrink with you. Now, the next thing with the Incision is finding a good cream, butter, something to put on it, because obviously it's going to leave a scar. And the quicker you can get ointment and things on it, probably the less likely the scar will be visible. I think it'll always be visible, but like the size and the darkness and all of that probably depends on how much ointment and different things you put on it. So for me, okay, so 100% pure shea butter or a coconut oil of some sort, something rich, moisturizing, is really great for putting on the incision after you're done, or after the staples are out and once it starts to close. And then the other thing on top of the incision and healing, or in caring for your incision, I would also recommend some type of like essential oil, or some sort. So this one is one that I was sent from my aunt, and like I said in my previous video, she grows a lot of these herself and makes these oils herself. But like this one basically just has jojoba, if I'm saying that right, sunflower, lavender, frankincense, geranium, rose, and rose otto, and it's all organic. And she had just told me to put this on my incision every night to help just with the scarring and all of that. And so I would put that on every night that I would remember, and it really did help just heal it a lot better the first time around. The second time around, I didn't think about it as often, so I could really see a difference in the first versus the second incision and the healing process. So definitely something like this with natural oils, that'll just help heal it and all of that, I would highly recommend. So that's going to take care of our incision, caring for it, kind of what to expect when you have an open wound like that. Now let's go ahead and move on to the money makers. The things that, if you're like me and breastfeed, feed our children for months and months on end, right? So what I didn't know was going to happen when I gave birth is these start to fill up with something called colostrum. And colostrum is basically like a mucousy-like consistency that's thick, and it basically stays in you for like a day or two, and it gives the baby all these nutrients that the baby definitely needs, but it doesn't necessarily fill the baby up in any way. So if your milk doesn't come in right away, which for some it takes a couple days, your baby may start to get fussy, because after day one of just colostrum, your baby, if they're like mine, especially boys, they're ready to eat. Okay, so they'll give you a day grace, maybe two, but by day 3, you better give them something that's gonna satisfy their stomach. And these don't always just milk come in, right? But if you're lucky, it does. So caring for these, eating the right things, all that stuff is super important. And I did a video on that. I'll link it below on just ways to keep that milk production up and all of that. But taking care of these externally also is a big deal. So when you start latching your children on, your first day, your boobs are kind of like, okay, I could do this. By the second day, you might wake up and have pain, chappiness, like soreness, just all these things you probably have never felt before. At least I had never felt before. And so caring for that is just something different. You've never really had to. So I would recommend like this one is just like a skin nourishing nipple balm. I know, right? We're talking about nipple balm. But something like this, to have something that's safe if you directly nurse, that your baby can consume, and like all natural, that won't hurt them, and something hopefully not flavorful, because sometimes that will make your baby not want to latch, and as a new mom you need your baby to latch, and just to build that whole bonding relationship with your newborn. So try to find something. If you don't have to use anything, great, don't. But if you do need something to help with the chapped and the pain, try to find things that don't have any flavor or anything like that for your baby. So definitely something like this would be great in those first couple days. I know some people use nipple shields. Some people use like ice cooling packs when it's really painful. So I would recommend for any first time mom who's not really sure what type of pain they're going to encounter, but really, really wants to make breastfeeding a part of their everyday life, to just have a couple of those on hand, or have your Target cart ready to go so your husband can do a drive-by pickup order if you need it, because you never know what you may need. So keeping a couple of those things on hand, I'm so sorry, is great. The other thing you're going to want to make sure you have is a nursing bra, probably more than one. But basically, if you haven't seen, which I'm sure everyone has, but it's just going to be a bra that has a nice little clip right here to open and make those boobs easy access. So when you're a mom, easy access is super important, and for all different reasons now, right? So basically, at any time, you need to be able to whip that boob out and give your baby what they need. Because if not, it could be a scene, especially if you nurse in public or whatever. You just need to be ready. I am a mom who's usually on the go, so I bring my nursing cover with me everywhere, and if I have a nursing bra like this on, it just makes it so easy. I can run to the car, nurse them, and not have to take everything off. It's just like a quick clip down, right? So getting a couple of these in different colors ready to go is great. Or if you're just lounging around the house a lot, you can just do, even just under sweaters for the fall and winter, nursing tanks are also great, because they kind of just hold you all in, and they also have that same, that same easy access to just get right to the good stuff. So these are also great. I kept a bunch of these. And honestly, I lived in nursing tanks and leggings that come up high. I have them on actually, and I'm not pregnant or nursing. But just that was your mama tires, high leggings, a good nursing tank. If you go out, throw a sweater on and call it a day. But that will save you so much if you're planning to nurse. So those things, those 3 items for your boobs are crucial to me, at least, I think. Just making life easier and more accessible for your baby, right? So that's basically it. I know it might have been a long video, but I really wanted to kind of touch bases on things that people don't really talk about, but it's so important to know when you are a mom with a newborn, or parents, just in what to expect and how to take care of yourself. Because let's be honest, as parents, as moms, we tend to forget about ourselves, especially the day we bring a baby home. We just focus on that, right? But caring for ourselves, trying to be as proactive and ready for what's gonna come is important. So hopefully this video helped you guys. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. If you liked it, like below, subscribe for more like this, and until next time, bye guys.